Okay. Is that a massive delay? That is. Okay, let's see if that sounds better. What's the volume like on that one? That's better. Okay. So, back to water, drink water, which seems to be, from a viewership standpoint, less and less popular. But we'll see where we go. Okay, so close this. That's a whole different thing. No camera today because I don't feel very good again. Awesome. I'm sure we'll manage. Close that. Okay, so we were working on adding a friends group last week. So, how far had we got? Let's find out. Water, drink water. Add group and list groups. So we got to the listing groups thing. And did we do a PR for this? We had. We'd done a PR, just so people could review in the interim. So, in this change, we have a get endpoint for listing the groups. We have a post endpoint for creating the groups. We have extensions to be able to split out this user claim thing right now. Right now we have, we create a user name and it has a pipe in the middle and separates the IDs. So it's like user pipe 1, just to extract the digit from it. And yes, we could use regex or something, but we don't need to worry too much. It's not overly complicated right now. We have the group repository, the group service, the code generator. We have an interface for generate code. We introduced a code generator. Again, this could be swapped out. It could be testable. It's testable. We have the group service, which is the entry point for the API and links the API with the backend, and this component touches the database. We have get groups and add new group in here. We have the new DB set on the data context, and we have an interface for the repository. This is a designer file for the migration. Here's the migration where we add groups. So we've introduced a foreign key constraint there. That shouldn't be too challenging. But if we try and delete an account before we delete a group, then it'll break. So that's where that falls down. And we have the snapshot and the actual group defined. The group has an owner, the code, the name, The code is the invite code, if you remember. And then we have a definition for the repository, so we can, query the database. Again, we're just abstracting this from the service so that we're not directly touching the database in the service. There's all manner of ways of doing this. We then have some tests. So we have a test for when we add a group, and we say, okay, when you generate code, we return the generated code. So, we're expecting that. And then when just a basic test. This was just to validate that the actual code generator wouldn't generate the same code if we called it 3 times in a row. It's not really a valid test, but because it's just testing randomness, which shouldn't need testing, but there we go. Okay, so we can merge this pull request now into development. I'm not going to wait for people to join the stream, purely because I don't want to be messing around trying to hold off and avoid making progress, because I'm trying to do it on a, this is recorded, so people wanted to contribute. Okay, so the next logical piece of this is actually the UI side of it, right? Where we now need to we've now got this. This is done, right? This is completed. Oh, it should be. Why isn't that closed? Oh, I didn't link it, that's why. So I did the PR, but I didn't link the issue. Sorry. So this now should be closed. Done. Close issue. There you go. So that should update there. So now we should be able to go to here, and yeah, depends on 3. Will assign me to it. And again, what I'm trying to do here is I'm not trying to take up all the things that could be done on the project, but in the same, I want to move the project forward so people can tinker, people can learn, people can do things with it. If I hold back the API and wait on people to join and do things, then I could be it's a hard juggle to do this way. But some people have fought the repository, some people have looked at it, so it's all there for everyone to see. So what we do need to do today is spend a little bit of time going through some of the other features that might be in here and kind of define them and maybe prioritize them, and then come up with a standard. And that way you probably define yeah, I want to define some extra requirements that kind of add value to the system, and also are easy to pick up. And maybe we'll do that later in the stream. For right now, let's add the friends group, and then we can the visuals of the friends group. So we need to check this out from development. Need to update that, and then we need to delete that branch. So let's create. We have an issue here. Let's move that to in progress. Actually, that one should be. So this is number 27, right? And let's new branch feature 27. A new friends group. Undeclared X, thank you very much for the follow. Thank you for being my 900th follower. I appreciate it. JetBrains for the win. Absolutely. I'm a big fan of the JetBrains IDs. How are you doing today? Yeah. Sorry. I have the yearly subscription to the Ultimate package, so I've been doing that for 4 or 5 years at least. So I'm down to like $170 a year for all the tools, and I use it. Going to use it a little bit more as well in the upcoming months when we start to. So this project is project 1 of 2 on the stream. This is a more viewer-friendly project aimed at kind of being more demonstrable, but the larger project is going to be I'm going to need the memory profiling and all sorts in the coming months. So yeah, I have Rider installed, Datagrip. I have ReSharper because I have Visual Studio installed, Right Side, Space Desktop, Rust Rover, Gateway, PyCharm, WebStorm, and Golang right now. And I'll be using dot trace and dot profiler in the coming months without a doubt. So I was introduced to ReSharper for the first time in. When did I go on that course? So I was on a unit testing course in maybe 2005, 2006. 2005. I was introduced to ReSharper for the first time then. And I've loved it ever since. Sorry. If the coughing does come through the microphone, please let me know. I've been suffering from a cough for the last couple of weeks, and I'm trying. I can't mute quick enough, so I'm trying to move away from the mic enough. So if you do hear anything, I do apologize. Everything JetBrains is quality. Absolutely. Totally agree there. So the purpose of this project is one of stream friendliness, right? So my main project on Stream is not as stream friendly because it's a closed source application. It is a large application. It is a project that I am building for a passion project and aim to make a product. This one I do on Mondays and Tuesdays, and this is all open source. The goal of it is to basically allow people to, so the actual tool itself is very simple. Let's start it up. So we have, that's interesting, it always breaks there. Test at nowhere.com. Test. So we have this application, and the idea is we are going to track our water consumption. So we set our target, we set our time zone, and then we can log water consumption. That should have triggered. Let's see if it wakes up and does it now. There you go. Okay. Oh, 24 is less than, right, okay. Yeah, it's 10%, 9%, so hold on, it didn't log it. But the goal is that we are tracking our water consumption, and we're kind of building an app around this concept. So the phase that I'm working on right now is adding friends groups, so you can say, hey, I'm at 9%, you're at 0%, come on, you need to drink some water. So it's just a little fun application idea, built mainly to produce some APIs, produce some back-end code with some logic in the roughest possible way, so that we can kind of discuss better practices later on. So I kind of just lump things together in very general ways. So it's not intended to be a reference architecture of any form. It's intended to be oh, look, you can do it this way, but here's why you might not do it this way, and here's the challenges as we grow the application, right? So there's a general API, and then the concept is that if you want to put a different UI on this, or you want to have a go at building a different UI, you're more than welcome to. We've implemented our own auth, so you get a token, a JWT, so you can log in and get that token, and then you can pass that back and forth with your requests. So the idea is that we built an API that's agnostic of the client. So if you want to experiment with different UI frameworks and build your own version, you're more than welcome to check out the project. And you also can then make the PR back so we can review it and on Stream. Everything is done on Stream. I do no development off Stream. I don't touch a line of code off Stream. I actually shut the project down and walk away. But the goal is, if you're new to programming, you could tinker with this. If you are generally new to .NET development, you could get some legging in there. And if you want to mess around with Blazor server, you want to mess around with React or Svelte or Angular, you could build clients and promote them. And show the differences and why you think your framework is better, or why you think you can do something different, or whatever, and how you would apply the techniques, but against a general API. So that's the goal of the project, and I do this Monday and Tuesday every week. The goal being that if I work on it Monday and Tuesday, we can do PRs, we can look at the code, and then there's an entire week between streams. Where people could do stuff without actually me progressing too fast, because people get intimidated if they're looking at an open source project. They get intimidated by, what can I take? What should I do? So that's why everything goes hand in hand with the stream. So if you're interested, you can join the stream, you can ask, you can pick something up, you can assign your name to it. There's no pressure. There's nothing slowing you down. I'm just trying to add features to make it, visible. So what I'm working on right now is last week we added an API for adding friends groups, and we get the invite codes. Right. So now we need to do the UI for adding friends groups to the actual screen. So as a user, I should be able to see a friends menu option when I'm logged in. When I navigate to friends, I should see an option to add group. Adding a group should pop up a dialog. That's a design decision that offers me to give the group a name. When saved, I should see a new friends group appear on the screen, and next to each friends group, the invite code should be displayed. So the way the stream works is if you have questions, thoughts, opinions, doesn't matter if they're negative opinions, as long as you're more than happy to back up what you're saying, then everything is good to discuss. I love discussing software development as much as I love how, as much as I love doing. It's good how you're doing this as an example to others. I feel like you're definitely following some good practices so far. Thank you. Yeah, it's people don't get to see this software development aspect all the time. So I want to share that sort of, not necessarily feature, but aspect. Delta, good morning. Merlin, good morning. How are you doing? Or good afternoon for you. Side projects like you already need a moat anyways. Oh, nice. Final interview. Well, wish you all the best with that, Underglad. No worries, Delta. Okay. So let's add some UI. Because so apparently in Rider 2024.1, hot reload is working for Blazor. So I was watching Curb Your Enthusiasm this morning again. I can relate for some reason. I don't think I've ever seen that. So I've been tinkering with Rider for a few years when, but I had a Visual Studio subscription. And then my Visual Studio subscription came up for renewal once more, and I'm like, I just don't need to be spending this sort of money. So I canceled the VS subscription and went all in on Rider. And I know that Visual Studio community now is pretty much the same. There's no benefit in having a professional subscription unless you want the MSDN features, but yeah. The moat thing in a brief form is whatever you're building, you have some intrinsic skill resource that cannot be easily copied. What does moat consist of? Is itself a good question. Huh. Intrinsic skill resource that cannot be easily copied. So reason for existing. Okay. Yeah, yeah. As you may be able to tell, I'm still fuzzy. I'm really not. I'm getting irritated at being now sick for 3 weeks in various forms. And I spent all day yesterday um, after stream, struggling with the client side of things. Hi, Biter. Hi, good luck. Thank you. Welcome. Hello. Um, thanks, daughter. Yeah, made me laugh. That's what I need. Okay, so we have a UI, we have a nav menu. We need to add a new page. So let's add that. This is going to be called. I've got a feeling if I do pages, that's going to be what I think is going to be. I think I want a component anyway. Friends. Friends. Oh. John, Jack, and Jane. Oh, there's my friends. Delta, thank you very much. Take care. So one thing you'll learn as you look at my code on stream is I dislike having the code in the same page as the actual markup. So I will quickly move to put code in code behind files. It's actually one of the things that I don't think people know you can do as much. But I have a general irritation with having code right in the same page as the markup. As it is, Blazor is not my favorite way of writing web apps. But I'm doing this to go outside of my comfort zone, right? It forces me to learn and stay in the spirit of the project. So, so yeah, I don't think people know that, but it is something that I wanted to discuss at some point, because as we're doing a group project that people can share, one of the things that, is interesting to see is when people contribute code, their own style comes with it, right? And you underestimate the differences we have in how we write code, and what impact that will have on the general readability. It's not something we've been able to demonstrate clearly yet. I'm hoping that people will start to contribute more PRs to this project. I mean, it can get somewhere, but it'd be interesting to see how people manage those things. Bye, Bender. Thank you very much for the follow on Twitch. Yeah, for chat and stuff, it is way more interactive. I also haven't got the two-way chat working yet, so that you can't, unless you can read what's coming up on screen, you can't read the Twitch chat, and the Twitch chat can't even see YouTube chat because it won't connect to YouTube, the restream, unless I'm paying them, and I'm not paying money. The last thing I need to do is spend anything I get in sub revenue in restream. Yeah, YouTube needs to invest in their if they want to do streaming, they need to invest in their tooling. Okay, so we're going to put a button in here. am I going to do this? Messing around with, so this uses Bootstrap, which has a lot of the same styles now as Tailwind, which gets confusing. So I want LG start. Let's see. Button, add group. So we're going to add a new menu item. In the interest of time, we're going to this is why this is. So this is how do I do this now? There was where were these from? Okay, so this is something we went through previously. Yeah, probably. Hi, Abax, how you doing? So this is now worth documenting, right? Because the fact that I'm stuck and I'm like, how do I do this? If someone wants to add icons to this project, if you want to come in and do commits against this project, like PRs against my instance of the Blazor WebAssembly, you're more than welcome to. But the fact that I can't even remember how to do this tells me all I need to know, right? So, let's have a look. Bootstrap icons. Yeah, here we go. So what do we think is a good friends icon? Do we like person with arms up? Do we like person with hearts? What do we think works there? See person with arms up and let's see how that goes. Okay, so friends menu background image URL data image SVG plus XML. Oh, that's interesting. Let's see if that works before we get too far ahead of ourselves. My apologies again for the cough. Okay, let's see. Well, the button kind of worked. It did align it to the right of it. So we don't have an icon. Okay. Oh, right about this now. There you go. Fill white. Why is that not? That might just not be caught up. I don't want to worry about that. Yeah. Hi, Smab. How you doing? Huh. Interesting. Well, we'll worry about that later. It's not really going to hold us up right this second. I think it's, yeah. And actually, while I'm thinking about it, no hot reload. There you go. So Blazer Rider 2024 is on the way. So not going to worry too much about that. I believe we can do that. Watch. Okay. Huh. Interesting. If I load it from Rider, the instance is much friendlier. By the way, this should at least give me some flexibility of hot reload. I'm going to move this off screen for right now. How you doing, Spam? So now menu, no friends. Class equals You're not going to reload, are you? Oh, apparently it did reload. Let's see. Okay, that is reloading, yep. Nice. So, Bootstrap, align headers. Oh, where are you? I want that. No, that's not right, is it? Because they've gone all... Deflex. No, that's not what I want. ML auto. Oh, still don't want that. Since this is meant to be a community project, wouldn't it be nice to work with VS Code or any other free IDE at least once in a while? You're not wrong. CT99, hi. How you doing? You mean from the demonstrable aspect of it, right? IPAX. Like I'm kind of gatekeeping a little bit in terms of showing the tooling. I think it's perception. People might think that you need the tools to be able to do the things. So being able to demonstrate, hey, look, you can work on this project. And Fritz does this all the time, right? Fritz does working in different IDEs, working in different environments to prove that it can be done. Yeah. I'm not gonna take up a stream doing it, but I would I'll have a look at because I don't think out of the box it's gonna work cleanly, is it? I haven't set up Visual Studio Code for .NET development in a long time. I get the point though. I appreciate the comment. Well, that's yeah. That does not work the way I want it to. Fritz is doing Vim sessions. Yeah, no. I mean, if you want me to break my stream rule of no swearing, yeah, we can go full on Vim. I mean, my productivity will fall to pretty much nothing. And the chat will be full of, no, now hit this key sequence. No, now hit this key sequence. Okay, what the heck am I doing here? Justify, align. auto margins. Why is this? You can work on the command line with .NET, and sometimes you have to if you're SSH on the production server. If you're SSH onto the production server, things are going wrong. Or as we refer to that, like normal. I'd love to say that never happens, but I appreciate that's realistic. What am I doing here? Well, luckily I won't be using IE10. But that's still not going to change my approach here. Seems some dev practices haven't changed in the last 40 years. Yeah. Not ideal, is it? We still do these things. Then we put it down to pragmatism. Like, oh, well, it's just quicker. There we go. Try something dev. Hello. How you doing? Good morning. Okay, I'm going to give this one more minute, and then I'm going to flex. Okay, so their examples are still the exact same. Yeah, flex fill. Okay, that would make more sense. That looks better. My favorite CLI command at the moment is the GitHub CLI. It seems to do everything now. It is pretty nice. I've tinkered a little bit with the CLI. Can't remember what I did with it, but I did something recently. I can definitely see how that would be productive. Okay, so a Blazor. So we're going to use a dialog, I think. We'll is there anything you'd like to see contribute that you think I can do in less than an hour? We need not right now. In less than an hour. The goal of this. So what I wanted to do towards the end of the stream today is actually go through and actually identify some extra features that we could do. I mean, yeah, the Swagger docs are definitely, if you want to pick up. It looks like this is Never mentioned that they did that, and they didn't even tell me that that person had said that. But that's interesting. I've got to look at how notifications work on this. I mean, Swagger, yeah, definitely. Cloud9 is not working on that right now, and I think it's better. So yeah, Swagger Docs definitely. You're very welcome. So ads are about to run. I do run 3 minutes of ads every hour. That is so that the pre-rolls stay off for the longest possible period, a full hour. So if you get stuck behind ads, I do apologize. It is the way that Twitch works these days. If I want to be an affiliate, I have to have ads on at some point. Yeah. Oops, sorry. So yeah, ads will run for 3 minutes. So I do apologize. Let's have a look. Okay, so examples, modals. Yeah, so we just want a simple modal with a text box in it. It's funny, I got used to how Bootstrap docs layout. Is it? The monitor is 2560 by 1440. Yeah. That was always trying to accommodate readability. So, this is very different from the original. How can you say that? Yeah, so the reason I'm streaming, I mean, I could change it for Twitch. So I stream to YouTube and Twitch. Twitch, if it's being nice, lets you go up to 1440, but will not often knock you down to 1080p anyway, right? And limits you at 6,000 bits. YouTube will let you stream at 1440 up to 16,000 bit rate, right? So I actually have upped the bit rate. So the YouTube stream will probably be a lot clearer than the Twitch stream. And I recently split them because Twitch keeps complaining that my stream is unstable because my bit rate is too high at 6,000. Whereas YouTube is always complaining, saying, well, 6,000, come on, we've got way more bandwidth here. So my upload to Twitch is like at 6 meg, and my upload to YouTube is like 12 or 13 meg. Okay, so okay, those aren't snippets. Those are, unless I'm missing something on the UI. I want themes. I just want a simple dialogue. And again, this project is not meant to be, hey, look, this is the right way to do all this stuff, right? This project is meant to be. Am I missing something on this page? Like, am I just meant to look at the element and copy it? Because that isn't working. So, I want to download the examples. Layout, content, forms, components, dialogue. Okay, here we go. That was being an idiot. So they call it snippets, but they're really just visuals. Full screen model. I want a embedding YouTube videos. We don't need to do that. Interesting that they don't actually demonstrate putting a form inside of a modal. So all I'm thinking of is having a button. When I hit add, I pop up a form. It says, give me a name. You hit name, hit save. It loads in the background. The list of groups. Right. That's all we need to achieve today. So while I'm kind of figuring this out, on the topic of, features that we can add to this, the common goal is an application that allows you to track water consumption, allows you to see a list of friends and where they are. No, it's never going to show, again, it's never going to show the actual consumption. So if I set my target as 250 fluid ounces a day and you set your target as 200 fluid ounces a day, it's not going to tell me that you've drunk 18. It's going to tell me that you've hit 20% of your goal or 10% of your goal, whatever. Right. The idea would be to nudge them, so SignalR, things like that could come into play here. There's other features in there. There's other cool things that could be done. So, these are all things that I'd like to kind of brainstorm a little bit and maybe come out with some actual issues that we can because one of the big challenges you have when you're building an application is the order of things, right? And that's, again, what I'm trying to demonstrate with this is it's not so simple to say, hey, here's a bunch of features, go off and do them. You've actually got to evaluate what the interconnected nature of them means, if there is an interconnected nature, if there's a cost, pull requests. If you and I do a pull request at the same time, are they going to conflict, right? So there's all sorts of reasons why something won't work. And that's one of the things that I want to demonstrate. It's not that I'm trying to say, hey, this is a perfect application or this is a perfect way of doing it. But I'm trying to say, hey, here's some experience of doing this in an application that is real as such. So, if you're sat watching the stream and you're thinking about things that could be in there, I'm not talking like crazy things like that add, months worth of development, but extra features, nice ideas, and there's always the option of doing your own client for this as well against the API. But I would appreciate that. I'm going to try and come back around to that towards the end of the stream and kind of see if I can come up with some friendlier issues to pick up. So it doesn't look like they want to do... That's a popover, that's not a... I mean... Okay, so let's just take this. And we'll put that in here for now. And we'll move to that. That'll... Okay, so it knows it's a model already, so that's good. So, to avoid... If you just download the examples, you can look at the ones you clicked on earlier. Ah, okay. Yeah. I don't need to do anything advanced. Gotcha. Oh no. So this is going to be slightly different, isn't it? Yeah. So let's have a look. Do I actually have Blazor Bootstrap installed? Let's see. Modal. Oh, let's copy it. Being too picky. And then private modal. No, we don't. Okay. So I thought also the template ship with all the version Bootstrap if you haven't updated. So I thought I had updated, but let's have a look. So we don't have any. There's no. What am I doing? Packages. Hi Marcus, how you doing? Blazor WebAssembly.NET 8 install. So I have the option of installing Blazor Bootstrap, which is a package, which gives me Blazor interactivity, which then means I don't have to mess around with JavaScript interop. Yep. So what I have here is there's Blazor Bootstrap. So I could go to a different UI library. I could go to Mudblazer or whatever. Mudblazer I'm not a big fan of because I've had some bad experiences with that. Yeah. Well, again, I assume the interop behaviors are the benefit here, where I can use code to interact with it rather than actually calling JavaScript. I don't do this often enough to know the pros and cons all over the place. Blazerize has that's what? So they're saying that to build your own UI library will take 940 hours and cost $47,000. No. If you're not paying yourself very well, maybe. Let's do this. I'm not in the again, this is my version of this thing, right? If people want to try a different version, they can do as well. Hi, Junicus, how you doing? You can contribute to this, but you can also build your own version just to prove the difference. Well, for the dialogues and stuff, you need that, don't you? Okay, and then we add. I don't want all of it because I bet the rest of it is there. I'm going to move that off so I don't flick back and forth. Layout. Main layout. Where am I? App. Brain. Index.html. There you go. Okay. Hi, Mr. Anhorn. How are you doing? So we have. So Bootstrap here is Bootstrap 5.1. So we could update that. That's a downloaded version of it as well. I'm okay. I'm hoping that one day soon I will actually get over this, whatever it is that I've got. To avoid the interrupt. No worries, Undeclared. I appreciate even considering it. I appreciate that. Thank you. An interview to prepare for. Okay, so in Program CS, builder.services to add Blazor Bootstrap. Yeah, I'm working on the UI part of it, adding the dialogue and yeah. Okay, and then imports. Sorry if the cough came through. This interview is actually the last interview, as far as I know. Just let's make sure you're a nice human being we want to work with interview. Oh, nice. Oh. Ryan, thank you very much for the look. Appreciate it. Good day. Did I miss? I didn't miss anything, right? Chat-wise. No. Anyhow, I'm going to jump off the stream, but good luck. Really glad. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of your day. And have fun. Well, lots of changes in Bootstrap 5.2, especially my favorite area. Okay, so why is this all going nuts? Let's yesterday I started to play around with a React client for this. Still super early, but I'll let you know when it's ready. Nice. That'd be nice to have the comparison. Why are you just erroring? Okay, so let's go get Blazor with Bootstrap 5.3.2. CSS. Bootstrap.min.css. Bootstrap.min.css.map. Oh, you're not going to let me do that here. Yeah, I'm just going to keep it as it is right now, and then we can talk about CDNs. Again, everything like this is an actual opportunity to kind of review and talk about why you might do some of the things differently. I think that's interesting that the JavaScript doesn't get copied in there. Huh. Okay. Hold on. Does this actually include its own? I might have done that for nothing then. Delete the Bootstrap folder from the worldwide. Okay. So it's recommending that I don't even need that anymore. And because it's going to actually take up and remove that. I assume that this is going to include the actual thing. Be that hot reloaded, I would assume. Terminal. That didn't work very well, did it? That's not doing quite what you want it to do. Pretty sure that's not what we intend. Network is what I want. Let's undo that. Sometimes hot reload is, okay. So I'm going to just move that out there right now. And then, no, stop that. That does not like that, does it? That's quite interesting. And it's still off though. It's still messed with the default styles. Because everything is now centered that wasn't centered before. Okay, so hold on. Let's do this. The funny thing is, right, in the docs, it shows this. Adding that one below there, right? So CDN, Smab will be happy. It then shows in the lower side things, right? We're adding the CDN for the Bootstrap bundle min, right? It shows that. I don't believe it did. I mean, we were on 5.1 before. So then it says add Blazor Bootstrap, then remove the default. The default Blazor template includes demonstration code and Bootstrap. To remove these components, follow these steps. Delete the Bootstrap folder from www root directory. Remove the following line from the index.html. Bootstrap. Oh, okay. I'm an idiot. What it's saying is the default template for .NET. Remove this version of it, right? And use this version. They renamed some classes. Okay, so that's close enough. I'm not going to panic about it being centered where it wasn't centered or whatever. Because again, this is not the greatest version of the application, right? It's not intended to be. I'm going to live with that for right this second. So they recommend going to the CDN. Yeah. We can do a pass of UI later as a demonstrable. Okay, so now all that. ML for margin became ML. Ah, gotcha. That's probably. I wouldn't be surprised if that was a container. Gotcha. When I was sat yesterday, because the front end is never my favorite place to be, right? But I was realizing that as I was going through the effort of trying to get the stores to work and stuff for the main project, that no matter what I'm going to do, I'm going to spend a long time in the client, and eventually I'll start to learn some of this stuff in more detail. My problem is I often go long periods of time with touching the UI side of things and the client side of things. So I never bother to sit down and get more familiar with how I'm going to lay something out, whatever. I just kind of lump it together as quickly as possible. And I'm not going to be able to take that attitude with the main project for much longer, because it's just too much to do. So I'm going to get better at doing things no matter what I do. So now, yeah, there we go. There's a modal. And then we can do private modal. And this could be ref equals modal. Right? Title equals add group. And body template. Footer template. I'm typing it out so that I'm kind of thinking about what I'm doing before I go. Button color equals button color secondary. Click equals on. So let's define a few methods over here. Private async task on hide model. Click await model dot hide async. Don't want that. I don't recall, do we show the name of the user in any of the UI? We don't even bother with that, right? Just the email. I'm thinking how we're going to identify the friends in the list. We do capture. Sorry. We do have a name. So we do need the registration page as well. We have an endpoint. We do need a registration page. And done. So that's not a line item I don't want to do because it's going to try to await a null. That'll be healthier. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that one, but we'll see. Figure it out. And then this would be on click equals. Cool. Every time you just use the API tool, just didn't even look at it. Yeah. So we do capture a name. Now I can do that. We should talk about that as well as a standard, because I kind of enforce that myself. Okay, is this running? Yes. There we go. There's our model. Do you need to do that in WebAssembly? Again, Blazor is a massive hole. Okay, so let's go. See, this is where that attitude, that approach I have, right? Now I've got my markup, my code separate, but now I have to navigate between two files to do this, right? So I can definitely see where there's a benefit, but I just think that these get clunky. Yeah, I chose Blazor WebAssembly because I was like, I'm going to do something different. Okay, so we are going to need our services. Do we put this in the user service? Do we create a new service? Do we create the friends service? I think we do. And we're going to inject a client. I think there's wild turkeys walking around outside the house. I keep hearing a noise, and either electric cables are being flexed or there's turkeys wandering around. So here we just need to invoke a call to the server. Right. We need to go through all this fluff again. Again, just because you see the code doesn't mean it's the right way of doing the code, right? There's a lot of this is just put together in this manner where we're just trying to get things done. But we can review them. We can talk about best practices. We can talk about why you shouldn't do certain things. So that's what this entire project is aimed at. So if you're joining for the first time today, this project is a stream-friendly project in so much as you can actually go and look at the code. You're more than welcome to check it out. You're more than welcome to critique it. You're more than welcome to provide feedback. Constructive feedback is better. But feedback is feedback. So not everything in here is going to please everyone, but it is what it is. Okay, so we do need a local storage because we need the token. So we're going to see a pattern that starts to appear here. Right. Okay. And I'm going to need the same thing. I'm going to use the same method I've got here, right? So this is just when I ask for the token for the first time, I'll get it. Interesting. Public async task. Have you considered adding an editor config file to ensure the code starts the way you want, or do you not mind? I have considered it, but I want to see if people do if people get involved with the project and they want to join in. That's a good point to kind of demonstrate that sort of behavior where when we get a PR, like Judicus has been the only one that's contributed anything of code. Like Rambling Geek contributed some stuff. He contributed a lot for the getting started and getting it done there, but he didn't really contribute a lot of code. Judicus has contributed some code, and we've merged those things in. But in general, we've been kind of on the path. But as other people join in and start to add some code, then we can talk about, okay, now we've got some stylistic differences. I've not actually used an editor config before, and I was actually looking at it for the first time to actually use one. I was looking at it last week for actually a work project because it's driving me crazy that certain things were not set up. But yeah, I have considered it, and we should look at it once we get to once we get more contributions, which I hope will come. I hope people do like this idea, and I can figure out over time how to get people involved. I think there's still going to be an aspect of fear here for anyone newer. Odysseus, hello, how you doing? I'm liking WebStorm, but it does something that I'm not liking at all. I'm not sure if it's WebStorm in general or how I have V configured. And the tooling can be tricky at times, right? Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're gonna really copy this just for the sake of moving this along. So what this is going to do is going to go and get the token and then return false. Thank you, Zeus. We're then going to add an authentication header to the request, and then we're going to, in this case, we're going to post to a different endpoint. We're going to post to the groups endpoint. If there's any questions from anyone, you're more than welcome to ask. You're more than welcome to discuss the project. The project is not intended for me to be sat here just all coding. The add imports refactor adds every module with full relative path, including the file extension. That seems weird. The relative path, I get it. The extension, I mean, the TypeScript stuff doesn't do that. Okay, so we're going to post name to API groups. So here we're going to go to API groups, and we're going to post name. I have it built into my CI/CD pipeline with .NET format, style, and analyzers, as well as the IDE now. This works for PRs. Nice. Yeah, we don't have it on this project yet, but it would be nice to have the GitHub action for the workflow to run the unit tests. There's a few unit tests just to demonstrate, and also, doing things like that is definitely beneficial from a CI/CD. So that noise that I was hearing before, we have apparently on my lawn. Yep, there's some turkeys on my lawn. And my dogs are going absolutely mental. Mine is stricter than most people's might be. I mean, I'm all for evolving coding styles. I'm all for making sure that you're not too lax, but not too strict. But yeah. Link editing, I've never worked with it either. Maybe it just. As well, look at it, see how the file structure looks. You can generate a default .NET one with the .NET new editor config. Yeah. Yeah, maybe we'll actually spend some time going through that for this project and add an editor config in here, because I know that you can add one locally, you can add one into the project, you can add. So for me, I was going to set one up for my work. When I was looking at it, I was going to set one for me personally, so that certain things didn't, because the code we're working with is all over the place. So there's no, you can't just apply the global style, but if I'm writing new code, then it'll tell me. That's the goal. So, okay, so we have add group. So we need a friends service. We need this set up. This is just the same thing, right? So we have that. Then in here, we can inject hello, is it probably if you have a bus factor of 0? Yeah, fine. These VS and I originally exported from there before the default existed. You're right. I'm gonna cough again. I feel Schnabel. So we need to have a so We'll do that for now. And that's, yeah, I thought I knew what that was, yeah. Sorry. Okay. Let's see if we can get this. So this will be that. Yeah. And this will be on click equals on add group click. Can I do this equals? No, I can't do that, right? Not that way. I'll worry about that later. Yes, also use it when it creates files. So if I tell it to use file scope namespace, it will give me a class file already configured that way. Nice. Oh yeah, that was not. So I think that was a default in Rider before it was in Visual Studio, or vice versa. I mean, not the Rider will pick up the editor config absolutely, because you can go in. There's a way of doing editor config. Yeah. There's a way of doing it, but yeah, Rider will respect it pretty well. Okay, so if we add group, nope, I'm gonna do that. Are you? You're probably gonna, yeah. Add group, and this is going to be my first group. Hitting Y. Sorry, I'm really not with it. Groups, my first group. There you go. So now, one more thing for the end of the stream, we need to just get that to do a list of friends groups and the codes. So we already have the pieces in place, right? So if we go to our friends service, we now need to go and get public async. Yeah, that's something about Hot Reload I don't like. I asked you to do watch. Do you really think I would want you to rebuild the app if you can't Hot Reload it? Why ask? It is confusing. Okay, so we shared view models between the server and the client. Yeah, that'll work. And then what we do is we're going to show, get off. Let's go back over to here. And we're going to do content, layout, forms, components. I don't need a grid for this. This is just, that's overkill to use a grid. We just need a kind of paneled list of some sort. So let's do if so we've got the friend service, private async task uninitialized. Yeah, that'll work, but we need an actual list of friends. Private ID revolve, friends view, group view, groups equals that, and then in here if groups, why don't you like that? Oh, groups.id ul is going to ask that again. Yeah, A then. Oh no, you broke it. What did I break him? 401 fetch. Do you remember that part where I said, don't just trust AI to fill in what you want? That should have worked. No, it's not going to debug because I'm not. $401 unauthorized though. Let's just validate that that's actually the case. Why aren't you actually calling that now? Oh. That'll change that behavior a bit. There you go. Okay. I did trust the AI, and the AI actually didn't do me wrong there. It actually did everything it needed to do. So there we go. We have a list of friends groups. Hi, Ryan. How are you doing? Doing okay. Okay. So, in theory, it's your Friday. Nice. Wish it was my Friday. I've got 2 whole weeks, 3 whole weeks until I get a break. That's fine. No. That's SolarLint, but the reality is that those are being interacted with, so I don't want to group name being empty there is set here, so that I think would create an issue. So this story as defined is when saved, I shall see a new friends group appear on the screen, and next to each friends group, the invite code should be displayed. So the only thing I have to do is reload that list. Once I save. And make sure that reload is going to go through, yeah. Okay, so now when I add a group, next friends group. There we go. Looks wonderful, right? I don't think this button is very clear though. Let's make that a little bit friendlier. That actually hasn't taken any of the styling of a button. Ah, BTN. There we go. So much more professional now. Why is that? Test. Shouldn't that have isn't label meant to actually give me a label of some form? Or is that? Check whether ML Auto exists. Not giving me any navigation on that. Here we go, we'll see if it changes anything. Yeah. Doesn't change anything, so I'm not going to worry about it. Thanks, Mab. Appreciate that. See, on the main project, one of the things I want to do is I want to hire someone to do a UI UX design, and then I will have to understand the CSS more because I will have to go through and implement that design and go through a full website. I just don't spend that amount of time playing with the client side. But anyway, I have got to go because I have to feed myself and I have my wife and daughter home with me today, as it is Easter break. So I think that is a success overall. So what I'll do is right now I'll commit this, I'll push it, and I'll do a PR on it, just so anyone who is interested can review the PR overnight, and I'll accept that PR tomorrow. And I need to start figuring out how to make notes on what I intend to do. It's MS auto intro. Thank you. Yeah, because this does flex fill, it pushes that over there anyway. It's all right. The layout stuff there is bleh. So yeah, I need to start making notes and start actually making some. Figure out how I'm going to plan these streams a little bit better. But tomorrow, what we'll do is we'll start with actually reviewing issues, looking through, seeing what we can add, seeing other things that might be on the horizon, things we could do that might be interesting, and see if we can break up the app into components that are actually attainable independently. Because again, that's a challenge you hit when you're developing something. There's a very linear path to certain features until you get far enough along that multiple things can be worked on at once. So we'll go through, we'll identify some things that can be done, and see if we can't make it a little bit more approachable from a contribution standpoint. But let me commit this now so I don't end up making a liar of myself. Thank you for the stream. Arigato, merci, danke, and have a fantastic rest of your day. Well, Lion, thank you very much for hanging out. I hope that the co-working has been decent today. Add friends menu. Add friends. New menu item. It's been a bit less busy. Soon. Yeah. Nice. Screen. Okay, so I'm going to commit and push that now. Then I'll do a PR on it. And again, I only do the PR so that if anyone's looking at the stream and wants to see those differences, what we changed, how we added it, review that in any way, you have the option, right? I'm not asking anybody to do that, but it's more, this is the way that I would do it if I was going for if I was building this in an actual environment, right? So there we go. There's the PR. You're more than welcome to review it if you want to. If not, tomorrow I'll start the stream with closing that, and then we'll proceed to kind of identify a few extra pieces that might be done around the edges, things that could introduce other ideas. So hopefully you'll be able to join me. Some of you are in ads, which I do apologize for. Unfortunately, I timed that wrong. But right now, we're going to raid over to Marcus Voice Coder. I haven't raided him before. He actually does voice control of his IDE, which is fascinating. Yeah, you're looking there too. Yeah. So I'll read you over there. I'm gonna have to run pretty quickly because I'm gonna go get breakfast. So I'll say hi and I'll run off. But I'll be back tomorrow with more watering water. And in the meantime, have a great rest of your day. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much for the contributions. Appreciate the conversation. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Take care, all. Bye.